What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? 4 years after the execution of an Arkansas death row inmate, new information shows the DNA found on the murder weapon belonged to another man. Liddell Lee was executed in 2017 for the murder of his Jacksonville neighbor, Deborah Reese, in 1993, and up until his execution, he maintained his innocence. The Innocence Project and ACLU filed a complaint last year on behalf of Lee's sister, Patricia Young, asking for the city of Jacksonville to release evidence under the Freedom of Information Act. Lee always insisted that he did not commit this crime and that he was innocent. The Jacksonville City Council finally voted to release the evidence in Lee's case in January of 2020. The murder weapon, a bloody wooden billy club, and a bloody t-shirt were among the evidence tested for DNA. According to a report from the Innocence Project and ACLU, DNA from an unknown man who is not Liddell Lee was found on the handle of the club. That same DNA was also found on the bloody white shirt wrapped around the club. 5 fingerprints taken from the crime scene were also tested. None belonged to Lee. The unknown male's profile has been entered into a national DNA database, but there has been no match. The case remains open just in case they get a hit on the DNA or the fingerprints that was lifted from the scene. Fam, there's a whole lot more to this case. Too much to talk about in this one video, but there is something that definitely needs to be added here. And that is, when they arrested Liddell, they said that they took his DNA and they matched him to 4 unsolved cases, 3 sexual assaults and a homicide. Liddell had a neighbor named Andy Gomez. Andy said on the day of the murder, he followed Liddell around and he saw Liddell, he lost him. He said he followed him because he looked suspicious, like he was up to something. So he followed him around and then he lost him. And then next thing you know, he sees him coming out of Deborah Reese's house. The lie detector determined that that was a lie. Again, we don't know for certain if he committed those other crimes. And the only reason why I say for certain is because police lie. They lie all the time. The district attorneys lie. They suppress evidence. They manufacture evidence. They do all kinds of dirty stuff. So anything they say, you pretty much got to take with a grain of salt. They wanted him way too bad. If they would convict an innocent man, if they would put an innocent man on death row, why wouldn't they charge an innocent man with various crimes and give him jail time? Because before they killed him, he had been convicted of 2 of the cases. So he was already serving time for sexual assault when they murdered him on death row. I just look at the history of how this country has treated black people, and specifically black men, how they have railroaded black men. And when you start talking about a black man violating a white woman, I mean, that's amplified by the billions, you know? It's like, I just don't trust them. I don't believe them. I think the DA was out of line. The DA, even after they murdered him, and even after this new evidence came out, even after he found out that the DNA did not match, in this particular case, did not match, he still defended the execution, saying that the jury went on the evidence that they had and justice was served. Like no empathy whatsoever. This is what I mean by an uncivilized mutt, fam. You have to be an uncivilized mutt to not have empathy. Human beings are born with empathy. Somewhere along the line, their brains, get corrupt. They become morally corrupted. And they have no sense of compassion or empathy whatsoever. They knew that man was innocent. And then they also had evidence. Look, the family had to lawyer up. They had to lawyer up to force the city to release the evidence, to release DNA evidence so that they could test it. They had to file a lawsuit. We got a man on death row, somebody about to lose their life, and y'all got to file a lawsuit to examine this evidence that you say you got? I have to file a lawsuit to get it so I can do my own testings? Come on, fam. I don't trust him. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. The Dale Lee, I don't know if he did those other crimes. If he did, he definitely should have been punished. Absolutely. I'm not with no sexual assaults whatsoever. He definitely should have been punished. But I also believe in punishing a person for the crime that they commit. Like, what's the purpose of punishing somebody for somebody else's crime? Like, where is the guy who killed Deborah Reese? Who is this guy? Was it Andy? Was it the DA? Sheriff? Another neighbor who happened to be a different race? They don't know who killed that woman. The thing is that they like to rush to judgment so that they can try to calm the public down and make the public feel safe. But they really don't care about the public like that. They just want the facade of the public feeling safe because they know that the killer is still out there. And they just hope the killer either go away or hope that the killer don't be found because a lot of times, they are the killers. Now that's the truth. I know some of y'all out there living on Fantasy Island, and you don't want to see it like that. Oh, it can't be. No. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's where we live at. That's the country we live in. That's the type of society that we live in. A whole bunch of demons at the top. You know how many innocent people have been killed in this country, especially black people? How many demons get promoted? Devils getting promoted, getting pay raises, accolades, violating people, murdering people. They get to walk around like there's some type of savior. I want some of y'all out there to know who are living on Fantasy Island. This is America. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?